Hey, it's Greg here with MaritimeGuardian.com, and I thought I would do a short video to walk people through the planting schedule that Lee Reich and I discussed in my last podcast just this past weekend. Lee wrote a book back in 2011 called Weedless Gardening. You see it here on my screen, and in that book he referred to a table that he had created that suggests when, relative to your last frost date, whether that's in the spring or the fall, when you should be getting transplants started, and also when you can be planting things out. So I like the table. I thought it was a great idea. I don't do transplants myself, but even if you if you use my method where you plant things under a dome, whatever the date he suggests that you can plant it out, just move that back a month. So if it says April 1st, just use March 1st, and that's the right time to plant it under a dome outside. I'm getting ahead of myself here. I wanted to walk people through how to get this file, how to use it, and so on. I recognize that everyone isn't super tech savvy, and not that I'm some sort of wizard or anything like that, but anyway, so we've got the if you were going to listen to the podcast, you go to my website, you click this triangle thing here. But if you wanted to download the file, you just scroll down in this. Every one of my podcast episodes, I have a short sort of write-up and then some plugs for sponsors and stuff down below. And here, right here, I have a link that you can click to get the table. So all you do is you just left-click that with your mouse. And for me, I've got, I think, Windows 7, I think. It says down here, left-hand corner, planting dates for zip. It's asking me if I want to have a look at the zip file I just downloaded. So I say open, and it takes me to a little folder here, right? And if I go to my desktop, so I have my computer set up so that everything will default download to my desktop. This is my desktop, and you can see that when I downloaded that, it put it here on my desktop. It's very possible that on your PC, if you're using a PC, if you're using a Mac, I have no idea, I don't use Macs, but it's very likely. I found my PC defaults to it has a shortcut up here called downloads. When you go to when you go to your computer, right? It shows what files you've got, and up in the left hand corner here it has the things called favorites, and it has the things called downloads. Typically when you download something from the internet, it goes to here. I changed my default so it would go to my desktop so I could find it. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, talk to your son or your daughter or a nephew or some kid across the street. Someone can help you with this that's a little bit more tech savvy. There's no shame. I mean, you just need someone to show you how to do this once and set it up for you properly. Basically, in my opinion, for downloads, you want it to set up to default all your downloads to your desktop. That way you can find it. You just go to your desktop. Most computers have a thing in the bottom right-hand corner you can press to go to your desktop. So no matter where you are, if you're online, bottom right-hand corner, you click a thing and it goes to your desktop. Anyway, so you got the folder here. It's got a little zipper-looking thing there. That means it's a zip file. It's just a way of compressing data so that it's smaller and easier to download. And all you do is you just left-click and grab that and drag it onto your desktop. Right, so now you could double click it from in here too, but I've basically taken it and put it on my desktop. And you can put it wherever you want, but I just have it on my desktop. So now I've got the Excel file. I've used the old format, XLS. For those that are Excel savvy, XLSX is the newer format, but this one's if you've got the new Excel, it's probably backwards compatible and it'll run XLSX files. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, just ignore that and just double click this with your left finger on the mouse, and it'll open up the Excel file. So why is this taking so long? It's taking unbelievably long. Anyway, it'll open it up, and I'm going to walk you through this a little bit and also show you the guts behind it. For those, if anyone out there that's a regular viewer of my podcast that is tech savvy and enjoys working through things in Excel, it shouldn't take this long. I don't know why it's taking this long to open. Probably because I'm recording the screencast at the same time. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, if anyone out there that watches this is really good with Excel and you want to enhance this table, if you can think of any way to enhance this table, I'm going to show you. I haven't got anything blocked here, but so anyone can manipulate this table and change it in any way they want. So if you come up with a better way to set this up, by all means, go to my website, maritimegardening.com. There's a section here called Connect. You can click that. I don't need to subscribe. It's my channel. You can click Connect here, and you can email me. And you can, if you email me, I'll email you back, and you can send me a copy of the Excel file. If you've changed this in some way that you think's better, I'm curious to see what you've done, and so on and so forth. But anyway, this is the file. This is the table. It's pretty much the same as what's in Lee's book, except it does all the calculations for you. If you download this, it might have some warnings up here. It'll ask you something and you know, give you the option of clicking yes or no. Just click yes. It's basically saying, I don't know what this is, and I don't know if I should trust it. Because your computer doesn't know what you're getting this file from, and it doesn't know if it's got a virus in it or not. It's just an Excel file. I mean, if you're extremely concerned, don't, I guess, but it's from my website. It's from me. I haven't embedded some sort of worm in it or whatever. It should be safe. You know, even when it's not showing me right now, but the first time I downloaded this from the maritimegardening.com, I had a warning. It has one warning, and then you click OK to that. Then it has another warning, and you click OK to that, and then you can go in and use the file and manipulate it. So once you click OK, you'll have to, up near the top of the screen, it'll have these two things that it asks you to say yes or no to. Just say yes. Just agree. Everything will be fine. Don't worry. And then you can get in and manipulate the file. So what it has here, where it's sort of like F7, if you're not aware of Excel, everything's sort of on a grid. So F7 it has a date. And what you're going to do is go to some online site where it has a list of the last frost dates for your area. I mean, I can only speak to all I use, and I'm sure there's better resources, but just because it really, if you type, what is it? If you just type last frost date Canada, I'm in Canada, so like, did I type that right? Last frost dates Canada. The first option you get is Vessi Seeds. So that's it. It works for me because it's relatively close to where I live. You just scroll down a little bit. If you're in the States, check. I think Lee said to check your agricultural extension. And I'm sure there's some way to get this to Agriculture Canada. I haven't spent a ridiculous amount of time trying to find it out because I don't need to. I live really close to Halifax, 20 minutes outside of Halifax in Nova Scotia. So I know that on average, the last frost date for Halifax any given year is in the spring. The last frost is somewhere between April 21st and April 30th. Man, that seems early. I mean, it is April 9th as I record this right now, and we had a snowstorm last night, and I had to shovel the driveway and scrape the cars this morning. And my birthday is around the middle of May, and it has snowed on my birthday about almost half a dozen times since I was born. I'm in my mid-40s. And last year we had frost in late June. So April 21st to 30th seems a bit optimistic, but you know, that's an average. So just because it says April 21st to 30th doesn't mean it has to be. It just means on average, you know, that's when it is. And certainly most years it is like that, but you just never know, right? So you got to use you know, a little bit of use your own judgment with these things. Anyway, it says Halifax, April 21st to 30th, Kentville, May 11th to 20th, and so on and so forth. It really depends on where you live and so on. But anyway, this website has all the dates for major population centers in the different provinces of Canada. And if you're in the United States, go to your agricultural extension. So once you've got that, all you do is adjust. You can click these little arrow things. You can go up or down, right? So what was that frost date here? It was saying for Halifax, April 20th to 30th. So I'm going to use April 30th because I'm not very optimistic this year. So I'll change this to April 30th. Oh, other way, April 30th. right? Okay, and then what's it saying about the fall frost? It's saying up to October 11th to 20th, so I'm going to use October 11th. I'm going to assume everything's going to be early because it's better to err on the side of that. These buttons you don't have to click them each time. You can hold it down and just scroll. But you notice as I'm clicking the button, all the values in column D and column H, right? When I'm clicking the fall frost date, all the dates are changing, right? It's adjusting relative to what date I choose. And same with columns C and column G. As I adjust the this last spring frost date, it adjusts those, right? So let me just put that April 30th and what was that one? October. I'm going to say October 11th. Oh, wrong way. Okay, so this is telling me when things should be, when transplants should be started, when things should be sown in the ground, and when transplants should be planted out. So this is a schedule for gardeners who do transplanting, but as I said, whatever the date it says to plant it out, if you're going to direct seed, I would just direct seed about a month earlier than that. If you're going to do it if you're going to direct seed under plastic, like the various kinds of microclimates I use in my garden. So let me give you an example here. So arugula, it's saying put that in the ground 19th of March, which is around when I sowed arugula this year. I sowed it around the 19th of March. My last garden update video that I filmed on April 7th showed that the arugula had germinated. So that date was right, right? And it's saying last planting date. It's saying if you plant at the end of August, you'll be able to harvest arugula before things stop growing in the fall. That's according to the schedule, right? Beans, it's saying sow in the ground, direct sow, 23rd of April. Man, that sounds a bit early to me. But, anyway, I tend to err on the conservative side. The calendar, the Bessie Seeds calendar, is giving me the dates for Halifax, but I live not exactly in Halifax. It's a little bit cooler where I live, a little bit more harsh, a little closer to the ocean, where, yes, we do get the effect of the Gulf Stream and all of that, but early in the season, the effect is that it makes everything colder here. So anyway, I've got a friend that lives near Halifax, and her garlic is already about 6 inches high out of the ground or something like that right now, and my garlic hasn't even begun to grow. And that's a person that lives 30 minutes away. So there's variance, right? So you got to use those, use your wisdom relative to your. I know that I'm colder than Halifax where I am, even though I'm really close to Halifax. I just know that because I've been gardening here for a number of years. And wherever you are, just use those rules of thumb, or get a better indicator than this one for last frost day, something more precise. So let me choose one of these that's speaking to transplants. So let's look at broccoli here. It's saying broccoli, and it's got one asterisk, and it's saying 26th of February. So 26th of February, it's saying, is when you should sow your transplants indoors, right? Either in a sunny window or by artificial lights. And then because there's one asterisk, you go up here, and the first asterisk, I don't know how well you can see this on my screen, but it says indoors for transplanting, outdoors 6 weeks later. So it's saying start the Brussels, was I talking about broccoli or Brussels sprouts? Doesn't matter, they're the same date. It's saying start the broccoli indoors 26th of February, and then 6 weeks later, because there's one asterisk, plant it outdoors. So I really should have added another column in this for planting out dates. That's a nice upgrade. Maybe I'll do that at a later date. Maybe next year that can be the upgrade for this planting schedule point 2. Or if some viewer out there is really, really keen, they can do that and just email it to me. But whatever 6 weeks after that is, roughly speaking, that would be February, March. I guess around the middle to late April, I would guess, would be 6 weeks after the 26th of February for planting out broccoli. And that's about right, because I would say around the first, second, or third week around early April, first week of April. Under plastic is when I would plant direct sow broccoli outside. I've got a kind of broccoli, like a broccolini, I'm going to plant this year. So all I was saying is, if you're going to direct seed under a dome or some sort of microclimate, this schedule is for transplants, but if you're going to direct seed, whatever it's saying is the planting out date, 6 weeks after 26th of February, move that back a month and direct seed. If that's, I don't know how confusing that is, but whatever 6 weeks from the 26th of February is, a month earlier than that, it's when you direct seed, which is, for a lot of these, tough sort of cold-loving plants, is about now. I mean, I planted my beets, actually, I planted my beets, direct sowed them around this time of year, actually, and they've maybe a week ago, and they've already germinated under plastic outside. But it's saying direct sow them April 2nd. I've certainly done that, but it's been so cold. We just had a snowstorm. It would take them a long while to germinate, at least the kind of year we're having here, if you were to direct sow April 2nd without a microclimate. Anyway, I'm getting down into the weeds here. You get the general idea, right? Whatever. Let's do another one, like celery. It's saying 5th of February is when you would when you'd sow this indoors as a transplant or in a greenhouse as a transplant. And then the 2 asterisks is telling you when you'd actually move that outside. The 2 asterisks is saying indoors for transplanting, outdoors 11 weeks later. So it's saying planted indoors on February 5th, outdoors 11 weeks later than that. Right? So it's a really neat schedule. And then it's also giving you dates for things that you can plant out in April, before the last frost, so you can get a fall crop. So a lot of things, if there's a dash, it just means that thing takes too long and there's really no point in trying to get a fall crop. But this whole latest planting date thing is either speaking to fall crops or the latest you could possibly plant something and hope to get a yield. Like it's saying you could plant direct sow beets on the 19th of July. And if you planted them then, you'd probably be able to harvest them by, October, November, that sort of thing. So I really like this latest planting date because I think a lot of people, they get all like, oh, I missed it, I'm too late, that sort of thing. There's a lot of things, believe it or not, you can actually plant a bit later than you might think. I like this, like beans, even beans here. See how it says late date for bush only. So it's saying, if you were busy doing other things in May and you didn't really get your garden in, you can still plant beans on the 19th of July, but it's saying only plant bush beans if you want to get a return. Bush beans grow a lot faster than pole beans. So, I mean, there's a lot of things here you can get going really late, later than you'd possibly think. This 3rd of January date for carrots seems a bit suspect, but I'll have to look into that. But that seems a bit ridiculous. But anyway, generally speaking, that one notwithstanding, there might be a glitch with that one, but all of these other dates look fine with me. So that's the general idea. Now, for those that are interested in messing around with this, all the guts are way over in columns AH through AO, and this is all this data here is the math and the equations and the what's going on behind the scenes that you can't see, sort of thing, right? So you can see for any given, so if I click on this cell here, AJ13, right? It's up here where it says FX. It's telling me the equation for that cell. And I know I'm boring the hell out of some people, so I won't belabor this point. But anyway, if you want to get in and manipulate how this works, this is where the guts are. And all this box does, all this little clicky thing does, is change a number. So let's look at 28th of April. If I right click on this, it'll say right click, format control. It's telling me that it's going to send a number. If I go up, it goes up by 1. If I go down, it goes down by 1. And it just sends a number between 0 and 200 to the cell AK13. So I'll just show you where's AK13. 13. So AK13 is right here. 13 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 is right here right? So it's saying 114 in AK13. So if I click this up 3 times, 114, 115, 116, 117, it should say 117 in AK13. And what do you know it does, right? So by clicking that button, I change the number in this cell. And by changing the number in that cell, I change an equation somewhere. I think I changed this equation. That changes some other thing, and it changes some other thing. And it affects the values that appear on this table, because these tables are just, you can see the values that have these planting dates are just equations. And I'm not going to get into what these equations mean or whatever. This isn't an Excel channel, but I do stuff like this for a living, so it's kind of fun to play around with it. Anyway, this is all stuff you could sort of look up. There's plenty of websites that explain how to use Excel, and of course, if you're really good at this, what I've done is probably child's play and pretty Mickey Mouse compared to what really sophisticated people can do. But anyway, that is the planting dates, the planting schedule, planting dates for vegetables in Lee's book, which you can, if you want to buy his book, all you got to do is click here and it'll take you to his book. Click on the picture of the book and it'll take you to Lee's website and you can buy the book right there. Okay, and of course, if you want to listen to more podcasts, oh, that was supposed to be a hyperlink. Anyway, just go to maritimegardening.com and watch my podcasts. Click episodes, and for those that just listen to my YouTube channel, if you go to Maritime Gardening Podcast and scroll down here, you can see every episode I've ever done. My most recent one with Lee Reich, was episode 78. You can go all the way back to the beginning. So I hope you found that interesting. There's one more thing I wanted to show. People are always asking me they're always asking me questions online, and they're asking me, how do you do this? How do you do that? Have you done a video on this? Have you done a video on that? And what that tells me, I mean, I'm happy to help, but the channel is, I've got 8,000 subscribers now, and things are only increasing. So at some point, I won't be able to sort of help everyone every single time. If you go to my actual, I mean, you're seeing a bit behind the scenes here, but if you go to my podcast here, right, or my YouTube channel, and you want to search my videos, all you do is you go to my YouTube channel, and you click the thing that says video. So this is what you would see if you went to my channel. And you click videos, okay? You go to videos, and you'll get a screen like this. And up here, there's a little magnifying glass. So let's say you wanted to, you watched one of my garden videos, and you saw my hugelkultur beds, and you say, oh, geez, how do you do that? Right? You can just do a search for hugel, like that. And look, there's a video of me. How to build a hugelkultur style raised bed garden. Hugelkultur gardens grow big potatoes. Hugelkultur solutions for raised bed. So on and so forth. And one of my more recent ones was high-speed hugelkultur. Anyway, right? Hugelkulturs. If you were interested in planting parsnips. Oops. Not parsniops. Parsnips. You can do a search for that. Yam of the North. Fall sown versus spring. Incredible parsnips sown by nature, and so on and so forth, right? Sowing seeds with mulch. Get the pickaxe. Man, I guess I've done a lot of videos on parsnips. Anyway, so that's, if you got a question, and of course ask me your questions. But as the channel picks up more subscribers and I get more and more comments and questions and stuff like that, at some point I'm not going to be able to keep up with this. So this is for those of you that aren't aware of this functionality in YouTube. And this goes for anyone you follow if you're interested in their content, especially if they do a lot of how-to videos, right? You just go to their website, you click the videos, and then you'll get this little magnifying glass, and you just type in what you're looking for. I would keep it really simple. Don't put a sentence in there. Put one word there. That's sort of like the key word, and it should show you everything they've done that's related to. I wouldn't click a word like gardening. I click a fairly specific word about what you're interested in. If I wanted to. It's basically searching the titles and I think the tags that I would have included. So I've how late can you leave your carrots in the ground, power of horse manure. This is my awesome carrots I got in the garden that was made out of horse manure, and so on and so forth, right? So, yeah, I just thought I'd touch on that. It's not what the main video is about, but just for those that are always asking that sort of stuff, that's how you search people's content on their YouTube channel if you want to do that. So, anyway, that's where we are with all that. I hope this table is useful for you. It's certainly changed the way I think about certain things, and I'm contemplating ways to enhance and improve on it. And of course, if you've got any good ideas, let me have it. Put them in the comments section of this. And if you download the video and if you download this if you download this table and you can think of a better way to make this table work, by all means, send me a copy of it, and I'm happy to look at it. And if I agree with what you've done, I will get rid of this and put yours up and give you credit for it. Won't give you any money, but I'll say, hey, John McJohnsonville created this great table that's better than the one I created. Something like that. So hope you found that interesting. If you did, please like, share, subscribe. Check out my podcast, maritimegardening.com. And until next time, get out there, get at it, and have fun in your garden. Thanks for watching.